We are into the Endwalker expansion. I think we're at the level 82 MSQ. I did some leveling on Machinist earlier this week, and so we've gotten him up to level 35 at least, maybe levels 36, 37 in that range. So we'll be doing the level 35 Machinist quest today as part of our stream. And as usual, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I love answering questions. In fact, I'm thinking of adding a Thursday evening kind of a chill, do roulettes, you know, answer Sprout questions or non-Sprout questions if you have them. And I'm looking forward to doing that for a couple of hours. You know, I do roulettes pretty much every night anyway, but it'll be fun to do it with even more friends. So you are welcome to join us. I probably will be doing that at 8 o'clock Central Time. And that's because I get home from work pretty late on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And sometimes we don't get dinner until like 7 o'clock at night. It's crazy. All right, you can see Miriel is chilling out on the cat cam there. She's all curled up. She's so cute. She's a chunky little bugger. She's chunky because she eats the dog food, right? And dog food is pretty high in calorie. We try and keep her out of it, but you know, when we're all at work during the day, it's kind of impossible. All right, let me get things set up for the stream and push my buttons here. Working on the stream deck. I got a new monitor because I had to. My other one was burning out after I had it for like 7 or 8 years. So I've had to like reconfigure everything. And so if things look a little bit off, that's the reason why I wanted to stay with a widescreen, but I could not find 29-inch widescreen monitor. And it's either go way smaller, which I can't do, or bigger, which I ended up doing, but the resolution is quite a bit different too. It's quite a bit higher. So I've had to kind of figure out how to adjust things. So I may tinker with that during the stream. Let me get a few more things going. And I make sure we're sounding good on all of our platforms. Yeah, we sound good on YouTube. Make sure everything's okay on Twitch. Still learning how to do all this stuff, guys. It's like trying to figure out how to watch myself live. Very, very confusing sometimes. All right. Come on, game. Work with me. It's your Twitch. Twitch, work with me here. Oh my god. This is what I want. Yes! Alright. It's my 2-month sub anniversary. Okay. And hello, Chelly. Welcome back, welcome back. Am I being heard okay? How does sound... it'd be nice if I could spell right. How is sound? Okay. Oh, sound is good. Okay. I think I set up like steamer bot, but I don't know how it's working right now. I don't know. Let me see if I can figure it out in here. Build live. Trying to get my chat to show. Critical scenes, sources fade, yada yada yada. How do I set up chat? I want to see my chat. Where's my chat at? Oh, there it is. There we go. Dang, it's working. All these things, my God. Oh, I forgot Discord. I gotta open up Discord. I got like started really late. I actually slept late today, which is great. Let's see, media. Gamer on Twitch and YouTube. We do X. We will get going shortly. So, one thing that came up on my Twitch, there's a cow loose in Oklahoma City. And there's actually like wranglers on horseback in the middle of the highway getting this cow taken care of. It's like it's a busy highway. Oh my goodness. Okay, they caught the cow or the calf. I'm not sure if it's calf or cow. And the calf is safe. They got the cow safely. So that is our good news story for today. All right. The things we talk about on Mama Cat Gamer, right? All right. Let's really get into this now. All right. And go do our Machinist quest. I'm gonna switch to Machinist. Everything looks a little washed out. Let me know. I'm still figuring out the lighting on my screen. Machinist starts with M. I have my DPS alphabetized, and I have my tanks alphabetized, and then I have healers The one healer I actually unlocked because of Summoner. So that's how I organize things there. Always the last place you look. Isn't that the truth? How many times have you like looked for something and it's like the last place you look? Trying to remember how to do Summoner. It's all about getting your summons built up, right? Let's see if I've got it on. I don't know if I have Summoner unlocked on him yet. Yeah, I do. Okay. It's all about using Searing Light, whatever the sub endgame version is called, to get your Titans and your Ifrits and your Garudas and your Bahamut summoned, and then you use those. I think I heard now I could be wrong because I'm not a summoner main at all, but you want to use your Ifrit, your fire one first, and then you can use Swift Cast before one of those to speed it up because the channel time is insanely long. Then you do Garuda, and then you do Titan. Now, Garuda and Titan you can use while running. You don't have to stay still for those. Summon Ifrit requires you to stand still. Right, and then I use Energy Drain on a single target or Energy Siphon on a multi-target, and then Necrotize, or whatever the lower level version of that. It turns into Necrotize at level 100. I don't know if I'm using any of this quite correctly because I don't know the endgame rotation at all. My go-to source for endgame rotations is the balance. My go-to source for leveling and learning how to play the class is Icy-Veins. And if I don't know what it is, that's where I go. Oh, you have to play as another character? You know what? There might be a YouTube on how to do that. I don't like doing on those either. I hate playing as another character. It just drives me crazy. Drives me crazy because it's usually a class that I never play, right? Anyway, back to Machinist. I especially hate having to play as a healer because I just never play healer. I hate it. Let's go to Foundation. Well, if you do the sale on Steam and the moment you input that key is the moment you are locked into subscribing. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, Green Man Gaming and Steam both have sales on Dawn Trail right now. I imagine they will have sales in the future right before Evercold comes out too, probably in the fall. Okay. And so that's great if you're planning on subscribing. Right? If you're on the free trial, stay on that free trial as long as you can. Some of it's limiting. Some of it's limiting because you can't do things like trade with any other player. You can't friend. I think you can friend people, but I don't think you can receive anything in the in-game mail, and I don't think you can use the market board. So you're very limited on, what you can get for armor. I think you can use the Rowena's representative, if I remember right, which is your best source for armor. But if you've out-leveled that, it's kind of hard to use. I spend all day doing healing stuff, right? Because that's my career for a living. And watching the health bars drops just triggers that adrenaline spike because I for years when I was going through doctor school, I was working as a unit secretary in ICUs, and one of my jobs was watching the monitors for people coding or having, heart rhythms that could lead into coding if we didn't do anything about it. And so anytime I see the health bars drop, it just triggers that adrenaline spike that I had, when somebody was coding. And the last thing I want to do when I'm gaming is to have that kind of adrenaline spike going on. I want to relax when I'm gaming. So I don't play healers. I mean, my method of healing, I tried it once in Tor and did a flashpoint with like several other people, and I like apologized profusely the entire time. I'm sorry, your health bar went down. Oh my God, you died. I mean, I just felt guilty the whole time playing. My guildmates were laughing hysterically at my freaking out. I thought that was fun. If you can do the new job. I think you should be able to do the Shadowbringer job. I don't think you'll have access to the Endwalker and Beyond jobs. All right, we gotta go talk to Stephanevian. Stephanevian would invite you on an expedition to Lanosia, so we can learn Heat Blast. Heat Blast will deliver an attack with a potency of 200 and reduce the recast timers of both Gauss Round and Ricochet by 15 seconds. Can only be executed when firearm is overheated. This weapon skill does not share a recast timer with any other actions. Upon execution, the recast timer for this action will be applied to all other weapon skills and magic actions. Let's watch the cutscene. Greetings, Scav. Have you become practiced at defeating your foes from a distance? With the range of our weapons, even skyborn dragons will learn to respect the threat posed by a trained machinist. Despite the proven efficacy of our cannons and ballistas, however, many knights of Ishgard continue to eschew firearms in favor of the spear and the sword. The creaking chains of tradition. Hark, the very creaking I spoke of draws near. Noble Knights, the stifling heat and sulfur stench. I can barely breathe. And worse, I can scarcely bear the sight of mine own son garbed in such filthy garments. Why must you persist in this infatuation with smithing of all things? Stephanevian says, "'Tis called machinistry, father, and you need not come at all if the air in the workshop so offends you." This is Count Bornduin de Heilenart. Would that I could shed this onerous duty, but as manufactory chief, I must needs supervise its operations. Supervise? You barely visit but once a moon and relegate every management task to Fromlo. And what of it? Smithing is a commoner's profession. Even as overseer is the role of a noble. As one of the four founders of Ishgard, House Heilenart enjoys a privileged position, but misfortune has waged a constant war of attrition on our forces, and our claim to that position grows weak. Thus must we attend to our duties with uncommon zeal, even duties as common as this one. But we shall not suffer this mean predicament forever. No, my son, you will reclaim the honor of our family with spear in hand. You must needs become a knight of skill nonpareil, and bear our flag onto the field of battle. Father, the face of war changes with each passing day. Soon will come a time when machinists shall form the bulk of our armies. Should you cling to these stagnant ideas of yours, you'll be swept over by the wave that carries us forward. I tire of your flights of fancy, Stephanivian. Without successes to back them, your arguments ring as empty as my treasure room. The Holy See has announced a tourney. You will best serve your house by returning to the practice field and thence claiming victory in the melee. Stephanivian says, I regret that you are subject to our squabbles, but Father's attitude is sadly representative of the greater part of Ishgard's populace. Their heads may as well be made from the stone of the city walls. I have, however, designed a weapon of such brilliance that the light of its potential will penetrate even the densest minds. Rostenthal and Joy will accompany me to Rain-Catcher Gully to gather materials for the prototype. Why don't you join us? Practicing your marksmanship in Ishgard will only invite suspicion and ridicule, and this is the perfect opportunity to receive further tutelage from Rostenthal. That you might also train under the warm rays of Lenosia's sun is simply a fortuitous boon. We get to stay in the warm area and not deal with the Ishgardian winter. Do you have anything else for us? Join us in Rain-Catcher Gully if you wish to continue your training with Rostenthal. Let's see. Wineport's probably the closest. Let's fly on down there. The music on these Squibbers is really, really good. Though it is kind of loud, so I might put that on my third one over. All right, here's Rostenthal. Oh, you know what? I need to eat food. Oh, we have a food buff. Gear wear is reduced and XP earned through battle is increased. Got yourself dragged out here as well, did you? The boss said he needed some Magitech part, and I just had to open me big gob about this Garlean wreck in the gully. It's been rusting here for nigh on 5 years now, so any useful bits and bobs was likely stripped out long ago. Hey, Sly Fox. But seeing as we've trekked all this bloody way, we might as well see how far you're coming in your shooting. Go say hello to the other two and keep them safe while they concentrate on their scrounging. And welcome everybody who has joined us. This is a chill stream. We try and keep it friendly. We keep it PG-13. Welcome to ask questions. Stephanie Vian says, you came. Splendid. Though I am afraid the rewards have yet to meet the risks of this monster-infested crash site. And speaking of monsters... Got any more? Okay. Nicely done, Gav. Now I must return to the search. Okay. Oh. I don't like to kill that mildewed Gubu because that's actually one of the things you need for a quest in the MSQ. I think it's during the ARR. Joyce says, practicing your marksmanship, are you? Well, I'll have half a moment's peace to look for this part while you watch me back. Ugh, not again. Take care of that, would you, Gav? Nice shooting, Gav. Now, if we could only find this lordship's part, I might get back to me own training. Okay. You've been working on those shots, have you, lad? I'd say you're good and ready to... Bloody hells, that's a big one. You're up, Gav. Okay. Oh. Talk to Rostenthal again. Aye, nice form, lad. Tightly grouped shots. Now, was it just me eyes playing tricks, or did something other than guts drop out of that thing's belly? Looks like a bit of machinery. The boss would have a better idea than me. Do you have anything else to say for us? Go show that part you found to Stephanievian. Might be as he can make some use of it. Okay. Confound it, all this way and not to show for it, aside from your obvious improvements in marksmanship, of course. What's that you have there? Magitech gyroscope number 41. Now, apparently the previous 40 didn't work. Several metal rings hinged together to spin and rotate independently of one another. What this fantastic creation could be used for is beyond you. Gav's not an engineer. And this spilled out along with the creature's innards, you say? Extraordinary. By the Fury, do you know what this is? You found the very component I was searching for. Joyce says, that's wonderful, me lordship. Our fortunes took a turn for the better the moment you walked through the workshop doors, Gav. Finding a rare Magitech part in a beast's belly ain't fortune, that's bloody sorcery. Or so I'd think if I didn't see you shoot the damn thing with me own two eyes. Nice work there, by the way, Gav. Stephanievian says, I can already hear the whirring of my invention come to life. Come, we must return to the manufactory at once. I don't want to be in the middle of that. Let's go back to Foundation. Stephanie Vian says, that truly was a stroke of luck, Gab. With that wretchedly rare gyroscope and hand tool, only be a matter of time until I have a working prototype. Instead of twiddling your thumbs until its completion, however, you shall have your hands full mastering a new skill. Rustenthal bade me pass on to you the particulars of Heat Blast. Train hard, my friend. Okay. We've learned a new skill. Alright, let's see. Part of my screen is like 5 inches wider now, and gotta lean way over to look at that. Oh, I tried to play with some of the UI elements to enlarge them, things like that. I'll just open C here. Level 38. Got another 2 levels to get to before I can unlock the next one. Alright. And so, let's switch back to Reaper. And go over to Girabania, Alamegan Quarter. I didn't start this one last week because I knew it was pretty cutscene heavy. And I think we have a solo duty coming up. And it's been a while since I did that one, and I think you have to play as multiple different jobs again, so I need to take a look at that real quick. Let's see, did we already do a Frosty Reception? Void detection. Alright, if you're spotted, use Nebula to keep using it whenever it becomes available. Then repeatedly use Solid Barrel Combo on the enemy until it's defeated. After you use Silent Takedown on a human or bewilderment bomb on a dog, they'll be out of the fight and will not wake up again, so there's no need to worry about fallen enemies. That's good. Swift Deception only lasts for 10 seconds, so be ready to go back into hiding as soon as it wears off. Also wears off when you use Silent Takedown, so don't use it near other enemies, and be prepared to run to safety after using it. You will also have to wait 15 seconds before you can use Swift Deception again. And that makes you invisible to humans and Magitech, but not guard dogs. Silent Takedown is only available when Swift Deception is in effect, and allows you to render human soldiers unconscious, but it will damage and alert Magitech and guard dogs. Alright, so after you talk to Maxima and choose Commence Mission, wait for the glowing barrier to disappear, and then use Swift Deception to go past the guards at the gate. Use Silent Takedown would make you visible for the other guards, so just go past them instead. Go to the sparkling Magitech field control on the north wall. If Swift Deception wears off, hide and wait for it to become available again. Then use Swift Deception and Silent Takedown to knock out the guard in front of the Magitech field control, then interact with the Magitech field control to remove barrier. Go to the next area. Use Swift Deception and Silent Takedown to remove the guard that walks near the nearest sparkling inactive Magitech Reaper. After the guard is down, interact it with that. Get rid of the other guard the same way. Interact with the remaining inactive Magitech Reapers. Once you have planted, the explosives go toward the barrier. When the Magitech Slasher has its back turned to the guard, use Swift Deception to go past the Slasher. Use Silent Takedown on the guard, then quickly use the Magitech Field Control to open the way and go past where the barrier was before the Magitech Slashers rotate. Oh my god, there's so much to this. The next area, there'll be a circle around the guard dog. To show the area where it is able to detect you, use Bewilderment Bomb on the dog to neutralize it. You can make sure that you adjust that Bewilderment Bomb AoE effect so that it doesn't hit other people, but you have to be careful about that. Check on the Magitech Field Control that it was guarding, then go past where the barrier was. Next area, use Swift Deception and Silent Takedown on the human guard, then avoid the Magitech Slasher. Check on the sparkling inactive Magitech Reaper. So what happens is when you use the bomb or the Silent Takedown, it makes you visible again, so you kind of have to hide. And I think there's places to hide in there, if I remember right. See, after the dialogue, wait for the Magitech Slasher to be walking away from the human guard. Use Swift Deception, Silent Takedown on the guard. Quickly check on the sparkling Magitech Field Control. If necessary, hide from the Magitech Slasher before you go past where the barrier was. After you've gone past where the barrier was, use Swift Deception to quickly go west to the storage grates along the south wall where you will be safe from detection. Oh, okay. Go along the south wall and use Swift Deception. Silent Takedown on the human guard in the southwest corner. I am never going to remember all this. I'll just leave it up and kind of scroll through it, because I'm sure there will be some places where I can hide. But anyway, that's the plan of attack. Oh, hey, look at this. I don't think I can use Lookout here. See if I can dismount without falling off. Like not letting me get off my mount. I wonder if it'll let me get down on... I hate doing these, like, puzzle versions. Because I can't figure out how to get up on some of these. Yeah, I might be able to land on the edge of the pillar. I wonder if I could land on this one. Nope. I gotta do... I'll look that one up. I don't want to fuss with it too much. Alright. A frosty reception. Tataru is desperately trying to retain her composure as she prepares to see you off on another perilous journey. I'm told the airship pilot has been sent to meet you. Ah, there he is. All right, this is where we go our separate ways. Do be careful, won't you? Do you have anything else for us? I modeled your clothing on what Elfino and I wore when we journeyed from Lord Horshfall's falling snows to Ishgard for the first time. In those days, I barely knew one end of a sewing needle from the other, and as you've always had very individual tastes, I let you pick your own outfit. I'd like to think my skills have improved since then, but do you know what's more important than skill? Heart and soul. There's plenty to be found in each and every one of my works. Heart and soul is true. All right, we got a solo duty here. It's an honor to finally meet you. We of the Garland Ironworks will be ferrying you and your contingent across the mountains and into Garlemald. For many of us, it will be something of a homecoming. Our illustrious founder was only our most notable Imperial defector. For that reason, the company is committed to the success of this expedition. Our resources are at your disposal, and if there is aught we might do to be of further assistance, please do not hesitate to ask. If you are ready to depart, I will ready the engines. All right, upon boarding the airship, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these cutscenes in their entirety. In addition, you will be required to participate in battle. Your progress will be saved at certain points. In the event that you are defeated, you will be able to try again from the most recent of these. Please note that if you enter battles associated with other quests or log out from the game, the progress will be lost. All right, so make sure you are not in Duty Finder, queued up for Frontline or anything like that. Okay, you don't want to be in a queue for any other activity. Because if you've made it through, multiple parts and you only have one more, you don't want to be sucked out of a duty. Make sure you have your food buff on. Make sure you have potions on your hot bar. I don't know if you can use it when you're sneaking around, however. I think you're going to be limited by one hot bar of a few slots or items.
Ilsabad, divided in twain by a vast mountain range. Those who would traverse its jagged peaks face peril at every step. But why go by foot when one can simply fly? On the outskirts of the Imperial capital, in the frozen wastes of the Magna Glacius, the winds howl in icy protest, as if to warn against further trespass.
Manly is such a wuss.
We've received word from Thancred's reconnaissance party. They've sighted a detachment of heavily armed Imperials.
Survivors of the Civil War, perhaps?
Perhaps, but there is more to it than that. Maxima reports that they are led by Vergilia, legatus of the 3rd Legion, which comprises the bulk of their number. However, they are also joined by several members of the 1st.
From what I recall, the 3rd Legion fought for Nerva in the War of Succession following Varus's death. The 1st, on the other hand, were under the direct command of the Emperor and rejected Nerva's claim to the throne. These legions were enemies.
Okay.
Indeed. In fact, our sources claim that it was a conflict between them that sparked the Civil War. Yet now, these former foes cooperate to defend a ruined Garlemald from invasion.
Then it is all but certain they have been tempered.
So, what's the plan? If me and my crew is out reaving, we charge straight in, no messing about. But that ain't what we're here for.
Quite right. Soldiers or no, they are people of Garlemald, the very ones we have come to aid. Direct confrontation is unavoidable. Nevertheless, we must make every effort to limit casualties on both sides. Rather than kill them, I would remove them from the field.
How so? Savage beatings, disarmament, and imprisonment? Not impossible, but easier said than done in the heat of battle.
Having observed the opposition, I imagine Thancred had something to suggest?
He did. He and the other scouts have already infiltrated a supply depot some distance beyond the Imperial detachment's current position. Stored within is a stockpile of Magitech armaments, and once we give the signal, Thancred's team will destroy them all. In so doing, we will deprive frontline troops of Miriel, and likely force the detachment to send men to investigate.
Divide and conquer. Not a bad idea.
Oh, thanks, Sovereign Senna.
Once the scouts have finished their preparations, we will split into two groups. The first will form the vanguard, while the other brings up the rear with our supplies. As for the Scions, I ask that you lend your assistance where you deem it needed most. I would prefer, however, that you accompany the rearguard and be prepared to join the van at a moment's notice. Kept in reserve as our trump card, so to speak.
Meanwhile, at the Imperial Supply Depot,
Your proposal was well received. More specifically, they asked that we destroy the Imperial's toys in as spectacular a fashion as possible.
Thancred will love that one.
Ishtola always did have a flair for the dramatic. She's not an easy woman to please, but I shall do my best to satisfy her thirst for fireworks. All right. Once more for my peace of mind.
Well, hi, Miriel.
Our first objective will be to rig the enemy's Magitech with explosives. After we've withdrawn to a safe distance, we'll detonate them remotely. Our second will be to issue a deactivation command to the automated units via the control terminal. If our calculations are correct, this signal should reach those deployed on the front line, giving our friends a much-needed upper hand. A blizzard will help us stay hidden, so let's aim to get in and out before it passes. Trust in the plan, and we should all live to see tomorrow.
In the meantime, I will relay messages back and forth as the situation unfolds. You'll forgive me if I ask again, but are you certain you wish to play the lone wolf?
Wouldn't have it any other way. Call it foolish and reckless if you like, but I'll get the job done. I always do.
Very well. I wish you the best of luck.
If only Maxima knew how often Thancred had been in Garlemald, he wouldn't even ask that question. I like Thancred's outfit. That's really cool. Okay, so we're playing as Thancred here. In the coming battle, you'll fight as Thancred. Assuming there is nothing else you wish to confirm, we may commence the mission as soon as you are ready. Let's go over the finer details of the plan. The coming battle, you'll fight as Thancred. You have two objectives. Place explosives on the Imperial Magitech. Deactivate the frontline Magitech units via the control terminal. If the guards detect and pursue you, and enemy forces will become more aware of the threat you pose, as indicated in the threat awareness gauge. Right, so this here. The gauge will gradually fill until you defeat all alerted enemies. If the gauge is completely filled, the guards will call for reinforcements and the mission will end in failure. Use swift deception to avoid detection as you go about completing your objectives. Do you want to avoid battle at all costs, right? Learn about mission exclusive actions. Let's do that. Success in this mission hinges on the following points. Swift deception renders Thancred invisible and increases his movement speed. While active, enemy soldiers and Magitech will be unable to perceive Thancred's presence even if they are within close proximity. However, it has no effect on the guard dog's acute sense of smell, and they will be able to detect Thancred regardless. Moreover, this action can only be used outside of combat. It will also be unavailable when Thancred attempts to deactivate Magitech fields or execute certain other actions. Thancred's silent takedown will instantly render a soldier unconscious. It can only be used while swift deception is in effect, though it cannot be used on Magitech or guard dogs. Utilizing silent takedown whenever possible is essential in clearing a path to your objectives. As guard dogs can detect Thancred even when swift deception is active, you can instead use a bewilderment bomb to distract them and sneak past unnoticed. Conversely, bewilderment bombs have no effect on Magitech or soldiers, so take care to choose the right tool for the right situation. Alright, so this is going to be our hot bar here. Alright, solid barrel combo, that's your 1-2-3 skill, executes, that's to damage. Nebula reduces damage taken by 30%. That has a 2-minute timer on it, okay? So you don't want to use it unless last resort. Swift Deception, that's what makes you invisible. It lasts for 10 seconds, and the recast timer is 15 seconds. So when you see it counting down, you want to get to a place where you can hide. Silent Takedown will neutralize soldiers, okay? When the target is Magitech weaponry or guard dog, delivers an attack with a potency of 100. Can only be executed while under the effect of Swift Deception. Recast timer is 10 seconds. Bewilderment Bomb throws a bomb that confuses the sensitive guard dogs. Neutralizing them has no effect on Imperial soldiers and Magitech weaponry, okay? Let's commence the mission.
Keep your wits about you.
It's time. We only have one shot at this, so let's make it count.
We're just gonna go right past these guys. Ah.
Must be losing my touch.
You can kind of hide behind here. Oh. We're going to kind of watch the path of these Magitech slashers. I stand right behind here.
Seven hells.
I should have hid. I think we can hide here. All right.
This is Thancred. The explosives are in place.
Very good. All is proceeding as planned. Head to the control terminal. It should be to the northwest.
Understood. Have the others wait at the rendezvous point.
So we're going to wait for that slasher to turn around. I use silent takedown. I cannot use it on. All right. Just kind of have to peek around. So sometimes if you got to go back and hide, that's okay. This is a pretty good hiding spot, I think. I want to get that dog. We're just gonna keep going around. Okay. We did it. Oh my god, that is so nerve-wracking.
You are returned, and none the worse for wear, to my considerable relief.
What news from our comrades?
They stand at the ready.
Excellent. Then let the fireworks begin.
A few moments later, at the rear of the Oathsparred contingents.
The blizzard's beginning to clear. The Vanguard should be engaging the Imperials any moment now, if they haven't already. Ishtola and the others are with them, so I'm sure they'll be all right, but... Wait! Something's coming!
Oi, oi! Looks like we ain't the only ones who sent out scouts.
Okay.
Keep them away from the carriages! We lose those, and we're as good as dead!
Okay, when Virgila appears.
Fighters! Protect the others!
I gotta keep them alive. So, grab the ones that are on our healer in particular.
A brief respite, but stay alert. Keep the carriages safe.
Assist the Manalane's troops.
Fear not, friends! The savior of Ishtar is here!
We got to keep everything off.
Display, but the other carriages are still in danger.
Okay, let's go.
Ahead. We'll hold the line.
All right, let's go get these.
We're the only ones still struggling. Can't we put our backs into it then? I've been itching for a good scrap.
Oh. Okay, we gotta take this thing out.
You lot all right back there?
Oh, wouldn't. Okay,
Hear that?
but wait, there's
Get
more.
to the front and turn the tide.
Head north and join the Vanguard. So basically, you take the ads out, then you do the hexadrone.
Removed from the field was not a euphemism for enthusiastically murder.
It's nothing that won't heal in time. The trouble is, their tempering has made them utterly fearless. Subduing them would be easier if they had the capacity to submit in the first place.
Well, this is the path our young charges would have us walk, and that we all agreed to follow. You knew it would be hard, yet still you pledged your lance, did you not?
That I did.
That's Begilia. Damn it. I need to help the others take her down.
There's no end to them!
I was wondering when you'd turn up.
Let's get to it.
There's no stopping us now. Come on, let's show them what we're made of.
We have them now! Forward!
Ah, in the middle of the battle, streaming. Can you what? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we can leave this area.
Do not fall behind!
Don't be afraid to use your feint or other, self heals. We're gonna get out of these lines. The NPCs always know where to go. And ammunition. It's a line stack marker, so we want to be there. And fortunately for us, they spread out very nicely. You don't want to overlap your circle on top of another player or NPC. We need to move out of the way of these guys.
Is everyone all right?
If you get that on you, you want to move it away from the center. Oh boy. We're gonna take these guys out. Then back to Virgilia. Yeah, that's a proximity marker. We need to move out. This is where having a health potion on your bar is super helpful. In case you get a little low. Okay, we got to protect these gotta protect these stones from the enemies.
Tremble before the sun!
All right, nice. Sagu. I love it. Yeah.
adversary. Rest, recover, reclaim yourself. Then we will fight again, to the death.
Sadu Hatun.
Magnite.
That was the last of them. The day is ours, thanks to your timely arrival. What of the supply caravan? Outmaneuvered, but not outmatched. Good. Let us take the Imperials into custody and rejoin our comrades. And soon we shall arrive at the capital.
Oh, that's ominous looking, isn't it?
So cold and unforgiving. Thus spoke Emperor Solus as he gazed upon his barren domain. "800 years it had been since the Garleans first set foot here. Bested by the Kavosi, after centuries of war and driven from fertile southern pastures into the blasted northern wastes. In that garden of desolation, they clung to one another for warmth, freezing, hungry, desperate, hated. The chosen forsaken. In the year 1513 of the 6th Astral Era, a young legatus named Solus single-handedly sparked the Magitech Revolution. How did he conceive the machina that feed on ceruleum? Once a common, soft-spoken soldier, how had he so quickly ascended through the ranks?
Well, we kind of already know that.
Like so many others, those who knew the truth are gone. Taking in the capital with his eyes for the first time, I recall thinking to myself, far colder on the earth than in the heavens. Yes, far colder indeed. Bitterly so.
Not so much as a whisper.
The roads leading beyond the city walls would have been used less in recent years. Nevertheless, this was one of the most important gateways into the capital.
A buzz day and night with activity, aye. Merchants passing through the checkpoint, many of them stopping at the local hostelries.
Surely they cannot all have been tempered.
We can consider the question after we have made camp. If we spend any longer outside, we may well freeze to death where we stand. The tempered Imperials, too.
This will be our temporary base of operations. Secure shelter for ourselves and the injured, and dispatch scouts to survey the surrounding area.
If we're planning on staying here a while, we ought to give this place a proper name.
Sure.
Well, the constant sound of ice cracking underfoot makes me think of broken glass. An apt name, perhaps. But enough of this. To work, everyone!
You know, by the time I learned about Smurfs, I was in college, right? And we made fun of them. Oh. Because their singing is so annoying. So actually, when my husband and I were like newly married, we were still in between my graduation from undergrad and going to grad school. There was another couple who were friends of my hubby, and we were going over to their house to have dinner together, her apartment, and we knocked on the door and like did they la 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 theme really loudly at their door. So our friend opens the door, pretends to have a shotgun in his hands, and pretends to kill us. Yeah, they pretended to shoot us. And then slam the door in our face temporarily. Oh, God. Okay, let's attune to our ether right here. All right. Let's see, is there a chocobo keep? I do not see a chocobo. Or something that serves as a chocobo. Right, here's Alize. Shouldn't be long before we have a half-decent camp with so many helping hands. I was concerned the snow might hinder our progress. But our Ishgardian friends are used to working in conditions like these. Efina says, in spite of the obstacles we've faced, our plan proceeds apace. Just a little farther and we will reach the capital itself. Still, we mustn't get ahead of ourselves. As soon as the camp has been made fit for purpose, we are to discuss a course of action with Lucia. Would you mind asking Y'shtola and Graha to join us in that building to the northeast of the camp? Alize and I will meet you there. Hey, Rokilda, what does she have? Greetings, Storm Captain Tia. If you wish to know aught of the current situation, you've come to the right person. Tell me about yourself. The name's Rokilda of the Alamegan Resistance. When I was offered a place in the Ilsparred contingent, I leapt at the opportunity. If you're wondering why I'd be so eager to aid the people of Garlemald, the reason is simple. Like the rest of Girabania, my hometown, a waypoint oft used by travelers, was under occupation. Times were hard, but they could have been a lot worse if not for one particular Imperial. Although his fellow soldiers were quick to dish out a beating, he stood up for the townspeople without regard for his own reputation and safety. Thanks to him, my family made it to the end of the war more or less unscathed, and this is my way of returning the favor. What kind of place is this? This camp takes its name from the ice covering the ground that cracks whenever you step on it, much like breaking glass. To think that the Garleans made their home in this blasted wasteland all those years ago and not only live but thrive. It's given me a newfound appreciation for their hardiness and determination to survive against the odds. Let's see, what does June have to say? It's not only the treasure, it's not only the temper that need care. A fair few of our own were wounded on the Magna Galachius. If only we hadn't needed to defend the supply caravan, a lot more of us could have joined the front line. Graha says, our comrades certainly haven't wasted any time establishing a base of operations. Nope. Alicia, between guarding our supplies and keeping an eye on the tempered as they undergo treatment, we've certainly kept busy. Okay. I gotta figure out where Y'shtola is. A meeting? Yes, I'll make my way over there once my head is cleared. In truth, I've been feeling out of sorts since we arrived. The air is thick with a palpable aura of malevolence. It is the monstrous tower on the horizon, jagged, hideous, unholy. Even at this distance, its presence is overwhelming. Much like... yeah, you can see it from here. Much like the sensation I felt in the Tower of Zot, only far more terrifying. Ether flows unceasingly towards it, converging into a swirling mass of unfathomable power. Hi, Jakey. For a blessing, the constant chill in the air is helping to anchor my senses in the here and now. Tell the others I shall be with you in a few moments. Bartholomew says, we must remain as mobile as we are able in such temperatures as these. I fear that if we stand still for too long, the ice and snow may freeze our very bones. So we got the Junkmonger, Mender, Gemstone Trader. Wilhelm says, don't go shouting this about, but the truth is during the occupation of Alamigo, I was an Imperial conscript. Still, for all the sleepless nights they've given me, my experiences during those long, awful years might finally be put to good use. Right. Iliet. I knew we'd find the capital in a bit of a poor state, but what with the aftermath of the Civil War and a veritable army of darkness skulking about, but this is just ridiculous. No one said anything about automated war machina stalking the ruins. Mind you, if anyone's brave enough to take them on, they should serve as a decent source of spare parts and whatnot. The Machinist will be chuffed to bits. All right. Minuki says, we Domans owe our freedom to our Eorzean allies, and I was one of many to volunteer for this endeavor. We will be glad to lend our assistance wherever... We'll be glad to lend our assistance wherever it is needed. See if anybody's along here before we talk to everybody. Sick as hell's bells, this place is bloody freezing. Rather be tied to the topmast in a storm than suffer this cold any longer. Anyone what can spare a swig of rum, that'll sort me right out. Arun Senna says, the tempered soldiers are sleeping soundly while they undergo treatment. There are too many to attend at once, but I and the other healers will see to it all eventually. Okay. Cyrena says, Virgilia is in our care, along with the rest of the tempered. Glory to Garlemald, glory to Garlemald. They still whisper in their sleep, even as they writhe in pain. Lisa says, Rauban taught me a lot about military strategy during exercises in the fringes, coordinating units with wildly different capabilities, surveying and securing hostile terrain, that sort of thing. Now I have the chance to put his teachings into practice. Bitten says, we've asked the Ironworks members and some of our other comrades to stay with the airships. In the event we are discovered, we must be ready to move them swiftly to a safer location. Lucia says, once everything is in place, we will discuss our next move. Exma says, this is all that remains of Laterum. Homes become empty husks. If this is the state of the outlying villages, I dread to think what has become of the capital. Yeah, fair. Back to Graha. Oh, Talon says, many of us took quite a beating on the Magna Glacius, but we all helped each other hobble through the snow and wind, sparing nary a thought for which delegation we might belong to. For now, we're all firm comrades through thick and thin. War has a way of doing that to you. Estelo. I'm the quartermaster here. It's my job to make sure the camp remains both well supplied and maintained. Emma guy. God, this place is cold. We have our share of chilly nights on the steppe, but I've never experienced anything like this before. It's a whole different experience. I think the coldest I ever experienced was like when it was in the minus 30s and the wind chill was like minus 45. That was brutal. You'll be pleased to know most of the Tempered have been quartered inside the nearby buildings and are receiving treatment as we speak. I do, however, feel no small amount of guilt for commandeering civilian homes. The occupants may be long gone, but everything is exactly as they left it. Considering the length of time that has clearly passed since, one would expect to find them ransacked. Strangely, there are no signs of anything having been stolen. It's possible that everyone fled at the first sign of trouble, although it seems to me they left far too many useful possessions behind. Although there is no conclusive evidence, I strongly suspect they were tempered. Sorry, I was merely thinking aloud. You mentioned a meeting? I will make my way there. Alright, we went back to Lucia to speak with her. Thank you for informing the others of our meeting. When everyone is here, we will begin.
Our present situation is as follows. Efforts to aid the people of Garlemald have begun in earnest. Moreover, having entered into the capital, the Imperial Palace is within our reach.
But before we proceed further, we must learn what has befallen this city, for therein lies the key to understanding and combating the Telophoroid's designs.
I have a suggestion, if I may. Several of the Imperial soldiers we captured on the Magna Glaciers are members of the Populares and acquaintances of mine. Once we have cured them of their tempering, they should be able to give a reliable account of the events leading to the capital's downfall.
A promising idea. I will assist the healers in their ministrations.
There's Estinian back there just leaning against a wall again.
Of course, I will require a proxy of my own, assuming you can spare one.
Would you like a hand?
No, I am sure we will manage. Better that you take my place in the field. The noxious ether of this place disagrees with me, and as I shall need to draw on my own for the treatment, 'twould be prudent for me to remain within the camp.
This talk of curing the tempered is all well and good, but I reckon the cold is a more pressing concern. All the houses round here are fitted with ceruleum heaters that could keep us warm and toasty. Problem is the machines seem to have given up the ghost, and if we keep sitting around, freezing our asses off, we'll be next. My smiths reckon that with the right parts, they can have them working again, but it won't be easy.
Understood. The Machinist will assist them in the repairs.
The rest of us should either stand watch or survey the area.
We've made our presence known to the Telophoroi. They will be searching for us, if they have not already ascertained our position. That we have seen no sign of them since the battle suggests they have yet to do so. However, I suspect they may be biding their time.
Probably.
Or perhaps we are beneath their notice.
In any event, we'll find no answers standing around here. Urianger, Estinian and myself have visited Garlemald recently, so we'll lead the reconnaissance efforts. Perhaps bolstered by a few Bosnian and Dalmatian scouts from my previous excursion for good measure.
Don't forget about us Alamegans. We have experienced scouts of our own.
Well now, this is turning out to be a rather sizable team. With such numbers, we should be able to cover a wide area with relative ease, including that surrounding the Imperial Palace.
Nice.
How about you, Graha? I have a feeling we'll find a use or two for that vanishing spell of yours.
Twould be my honor to be of service. Though I doubt that you of all people need rely on my tricks.
That leaves us with guard duty.
As a matter of fact, I have something else in mind for the two of you and Alphino. Between here and the center of the capital lies the Eblan Rime. I would have you search the area for survivors. Your keen sense of direction, honed in your extensive travels, should prove useful in navigating the ice fields.
Yeah, Kev's quite. We could say if there are any survivors, we will surely find them. Or extensive travels is something of an understatement, but I suppose if there's nothing else that needs doing, or ice fields. I love ice fields. Oh, wait, no, I don't. That one, obviously.
As ever, you do not want for enthusiasm. But given your experience traipsing about through Kurthus, I should be surprised if you let a little inclement weather dampen your redoubtable spirits. And even if that were the case, the promise of hot soup upon your return would surely spur you to action.
Yes, it would.
You all have your duties. Let us make haste. May the Fury bless and keep you.
It is currently 94 degrees at our place, Jelly. Pretty warm one today. Alright, what does Alphino have to say? I've never thought of myself much of an explorer, though I suppose my adventures have taken me to all sorts of distant and strange places. With that in mind, traversing an ice field should be a simple feat. Emanaline. There's this odd perception that Ishgardians have lived their whole lives in the snow, but it really wasn't that bad before the calamity, and afterwards, well, I was rather more than a few paces from a raging fire. This dreadful place, on the other hand, is nothing but cold, cold, cold. And it's my understanding that Ilsebard has always been this way. Gods, can you imagine? Let's finish the quest with Alize. Do I have any... I don't think I have any jobs that are anywhere close to being able to accept that. Alright. Gods be good. If it's this cold with Tataru's clothing, I dread to think how we'd fare without it. I must remember to thank her when next we meet. It makes me realize, too, that while the people of Garlemald have spent their whole lives in conditions like these, even they'd be hard-pressed to survive away from the warmth of their homes. If there are any survivors, we must find them and quickly. So it's into the Eblan Rime we go, but where do we even start looking in such a place? Alright, he didn't have anything new. Tracks in the snow, and Emanaline is, as usual, milling about aimlessly. Of course. What ho, chums? Been given something to do, have you? As it happens, I too have been ordered to make myself useful. Alize says, sounds like a rather tall order. Oh my god. Since you ask, we're to scour the Eblan Rime for survivors. What? Wander around ice fields on the off chance you'll find someone? You'd take forever to finish the job without the benefit of my expertise, or more specifically, my telescope. Come, friends, I know just the spot to begin our search. Okay. Elise says, I'll probably regret this, but we may as well humor him. Okay. Let's see if there's any, let's see, to the east. It's at 160 yalms to the east. Somewhere around here close. Oh, there it is up there. I see it. $438 yalms to the southeast. Okay. Well, wait. I don't want to get too far away from where we're supposed to go. FFXIV says, the few buildings I can see don't appear to be residences. They may still warrant investigation, though. Lisa says, I'm surprised by how many wild beasts there are roaming about the place. Perhaps now that the soldiers have gone, they're free to wander and forage as they please. I spy with my little telescope a massive sheep thing, or maybe it's a cow. Not what we're after either way. Is that an ether current? Ah, no, just a wind sprite. Other than that, it's all snow, snow, snow. But no, what do I see o'er yon hillock? There's no mistaking it. That's a girl. A survivor? Show me. Over there, behind that tree. It looks like she's running away from something. Though, surely not us? She wouldn't even know we're here unless she had a telescope like mine. All I can tell is that she's wearing a pale green dress. A rather fetching one at that. Of course that's what he notices. Alfino says she'll be long gone by the time we get anywhere near, but we should be able to follow her footprints. Madeline says, I'll let Lucia know where you're heading. Oh, and take these warming tinctures with you. The poor girl must be chilled to the bone, if not on the verge of freezing to death. Lucia says, that's actually very thoughtful. Thank you, but won't you need some for yourself? Oh, no, I'll be fine. As a man of chivalry, my honor demands I do no less. And lest we forget, the very reason we are here is to protect those in need. Now go, and Godspeed. Oh, there's a happy kitty. Oh, loves your scritches. Oh, you pretty girl. You pretty girl. Huh? Oh my goodness, that is a happy kitty. Kitty, yeah. Does Amanda Lane have anything ever else? Why are you still here? If you dally any longer, you will miss your chance to play the hero. Alright, let's see where we're gonna go. Alize says, huh, other than the footprints, I see no sign of activity. According to the label here, this place was used by those involved with extracting ceruleum. I remember I came through here, like, ran into this dude, and promptly got my butt handed to me. It was not pretty. Ah, footprints in the snow. Here we go. Trail of fresh footprints leads east. If you need uvu milk, these or ovibos milk, these guys are the ones you kill for it. Oh. Went right out of the area there. And considering I'm going west instead of east, it's going the wrong way. There we go. Here they are. Footprints appear to be the same as those you saw previously, and they lead towards the building. Alize says, getting closer, I'm sure of it. At first we thought she'd gone inside the building, but the door doesn't look to have been opened in some time. She might still be nearby, so we'll keep looking around here. Then again, it's also possible she ran right past this place. Would you mind searching up ahead? Oh, here's our destination here. Oh, we see somebody hiding there. The girl in the green dress anxiously surveys her surroundings. Were you to call out to her from this distance, it might attract wild beasts to your location. It'd be safer to get closer first, but you must do so without drawing her attention. Oh, one of these sneaking missions. Another one of my least favorites. Certain duties allow you to follow an NPC and approach without being seen. Should you be detected, you must return to the starting point and try again. The indicator shown in the image above indicates that you risk being seen should the NPC you're following turn around. The indicator shown in the image above indicates that you risk being seen should you be standing too close to the NPC. Okay. Okay, there she is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down and hide behind this rock here. They make it pretty obvious where you kind of need to hide. She'll turn around and look at you there. So far, so good. I want to wait for her to get past that tree area. Must be imagining things. There, you want to be behind this rock hiding when she turns around. Those beasts spot me out, I'm done for. Then we're gonna wait for her to get past that tree. I'm gonna go hide behind the tree. I hope my luck holds. Keep going. They're all depending on me. This is it, the final spurt. All right, now we're safe. Phew, still in one piece. All right, we did it. Yeah, quest sparkles are difficult to see in the snow. Who are you? Stay back. This house is packed with explosives. Take another step and I'll blow this place sky high. Venosus, please, we just want to talk. I'm Alfino, and this is my sister Alize and our good friend Gav. We have no intention of hurting or taking anything from you or anyone else. I give you my word. We and our comrades have come to provide aid to the people of Garlemald. Aid? You savages are the ones responsible for all of this. You did this to us. We didn't, I promise you. One of the other reasons we came was to find out what happened here, in fact. The Telophoroi are the ones to blame. They're the ones who laid waste to Garlemald, and they won't stop until they've destroyed the entire world. They're the enemy. Our enemy. Vino says, on our way, we encountered Imperial soldiers who have been made their thralls. Those poor souls are now in our care, and we are striving to cure them of their affliction. You're the first person we met who wasn't already enslaved. How were you able to escape the Telophoroi's influence? Are there any others like you? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to overwhelm you. Let's start with introductions. Can you tell me your name? My name's Licinia. As for how I've managed to stay sane, I've been asking myself the same question ever since that night. And the roar, that terrible roar. And then the screams. I was screaming too, I think. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Then came the silence. Everything was still. It was like waking up from a nightmare. I thought that maybe the fighting had stopped, so I stepped outside. If your hells are real, I saw one that day. I ran past friends, people I've known all my life, eyes vacant, dead, staring at the sky. Others were mad and violent. I saw them struggle with soldiers, but didn't stay to watch. I fled as far as my legs would take me. Do you have family here? Is this your home? No, this is Victor's Spoils, a mansion for retired soldiers. Or it was, but now me and a few others are, borrowing it. As for the explosives, I was making that up. Just wanted to keep everyone else safe, and I didn't know if you were... The truth is our supplies are running low. You said you're here to help. Can you? Elfino says, of course. Whatever assistance we can provide, we will. Thank you. I'd better tell the others first, though. Wait here. This is everyone. Sickly refugee says, Licinia says you can be trusted, but these are desperate times. We'd be fools to let foreign troops into our home. Having said that, were you to provide us with means of heating the place as a sign of goodwill, perhaps we could take you at your word. If that is too much to ask, then leave us be. Elfino says, time to put my firewood gathering skills to use. Could you provide the spark with a little magic, Alize? We'll have a fire burning in no time. May we build it under that gazebo? The what? Oh, you mean the bower. Yes. Yes, do as you will. I hope the bower is made of stone and not wood. Licinia not sure what to say there. I mean, setting fire under a wooden gazebo is kind of silly. Kind of surprised they don't have any fireplaces in there. Licinia's inner turmoil is writ plain on her face. Sorry, I'm still finding it hard to come to terms with all that's happened. Now that you're here, though, I'm hoping things might change for the better. You know, I've worked up quite a sweat from all that running around, so I'll leave space around the fire for the others. As you can tell, they're in far worse state than me. We were planning to look for somewhere warmer with more food. They're not going anywhere till we nurse them back to health, which I don't know how to do. Is there anything you can do to help them? Before the Civil War, I was a student. The others were officials of some sort, I think. Even after all this time together, we hardly know the first thing about each other. But I do know is this, we're Garleans. When times are hard, we stick together no matter what. Alize says, what they need most is a decent meal. We've food back at the camp, but there's the distance to consider. Emaciated refugees, all's well, with food in my belly and a song in my heart. Sickly refugee says, I can feel my fingers again. Despondent refugee says, nothing. Okay. Elfino says, I can treat their frostbite and their wounds, but it will take time for the fire to do its work. Now would be a good occasion to make use of Amanalade's tinctures, the ones that can warm the body from the inside out. Would you make sure everyone gets one? Of course. The numbness is beginning to subside, though I suspect once the fire dies, it will return with a vengeance. Warming tincture, being gifts from the notoriously unreliable Amanalade, it's highly doubtful this concoction will have the intended effect if only there were willing and, more importantly, unwitting volunteers on whom to test it. Warming tincture? I've never heard of such a thing. No harm in trying. But tell me, have you heard aught of the city? Though calling it that seems absurd after what's happened. It's nothing but ruins now. The few buildings still standing offer no more than meager protection from wind and snow. Food production, water purification, the magitech that sustained us has come to a grinding halt. What Machinist that remains operational cannot be run for lack of ceruleum. Of course, Cerulia Ingens is full of this stuff. For all the good it does us, no one here knows the first thing about extraction or refinement. All's well, yes, never better. Oh, what sweet libation is this? Is it poison by any chance? 'Twas a joke, a joke. If I laughed, 'tis that I may not weep, so said the poet, and alas, my tears would freeze on my cheek ere they fell. We are the blessed damned to bear witness to the fall of the great empire, while our brethren lie dead or live on as puppets of flesh. First came the war, then came the roar, then morning came, Garlemald was no more. In a cacophony of gunfire, explosions, and screams was our beloved capital razed to the ground. From the rubble rose the disheveled remnants, their lavish finery caked in ash as they shuffled mindlessly towards the palace, each bearing a fragment of stone or metal, an offering, perhaps, to the architect of our destruction. A hopeful few tried to reason with the deranged, only to be beaten for their kindness. But I knew better than to plead with the horde. I fled with my health, if not my conscience preserved. Now I wait with my fellow cowards for our final judgment. That's really dark. Many of our answers succumbed to the bitter cold when first they came to these lands, much as we are now. But with discipline and order, any obstacle can be overcome when every man knows his duty and is held to account if he shirks it. Without a hierarchy, this is what we are reduced to. If you listen very, very carefully, you can hear it, the sound of my stomach eating itself. Would that it would devour my soul. What do you want? A tincture? May as well drink it, I suppose. Jeff's going, huh? This? It's a radio. You don't have them where you come from, I take it? We use them to listen to messages sent by others, even over great distances. There are different types, but this model is by far the most popular. Made with quality components, crafted with the finest ore, sourced from Locus Aminus, it is. Not all that useful since the capital fell into ruin. The people at the broadcasting station must have either fled or ended up like all the others, because all we've been listening is the same music being played over and over and over again. Home beyond the horizon, an ode to the brave men and women sent to reclaim our ancestral homeland of Locus Aminus. We may have founded an empire in these frozen wastes, but we always hoped to take back what was once ours. 'Tis a solemn reminder that though we must suffer great hardship, better days will surely come. Despite everything, I believe that Emperor Varus yet lives, and that he speaks to us through our radios. It was a cunning strategy faking his murder. He must have foreseen this catastrophe and chosen to conceal himself, that he may one day make his triumphant return. Yes, I'm sure of it. Emperor Varus would not be defeated so easily. Gav's going, I don't know what to say to that one. Have faith you'll deliver us from this madness, your radiance. By your grace shall Garlemald be reborn. Give a warming tincture to Licinia. What's that? So this is what you gave the others? Thank you. I'll save it for later. Actually, I have a few things to ask you. Are you part of the group staying in Laterum? I saw Legatus Virgilia's troops heading towards the Magna Glacius a few days ago. Are they the ones you encountered? Camp Broken Glass, you call it, and Virgilia and her men are all there now? So how did you reach the Magna Glacius? Did you cross the mountains on foot? Airships? Then there might be a way to... Cinia? Where is everyone? Is something the matter? A voice from inside, you say? You must be imagining things. Everyone's out here. Perhaps a baby Almasty has found its way into the house. It wouldn't be the first time. Without the soldiers to scare them off, wild animals have been roaming closer to the settlements. Some have been known to attack people, too. Right, yeah. I've just had an idea. If you and yours are strong enough to defeat a Legatus, then surely a few beasts shouldn't pose a threat. If you have a mind to continue helping us, perhaps you can head to the other side of the lake. There's a small group of tappers living there, people whose job was to extract ceruleum. They still do, from what we can tell. I've already tried asking if they would share their fuel with us, but they're not willing to give it away. They want food in exchange, lots of food, and there's something we don't have and can't get on our own. On top of that, to even reach their den, we'd have to make our way past all those creatures. Would you be willing to go in our place? We only need enough ceruleum to last until the others are strong enough to travel to your camp. If the offer still stands, that is. Oh, and I don't expect you to give up your own supplies, but there might be another way to pay the tappers. If it's ceruleum you need, then ceruleum you shall have. You'd best watch out for... You'd best watch out for baby Almasties while we're away. Yes, of course. If I see any, I'll be sure to shoo them away. To reach Tapper's Den, you have to cross the lake. The ice is thick enough to support a person's weight, but if you'd rather not take the risk, you'll need to take the long way around. Finding the entrance can be a bit tricky too, so it's easier to just look for someone standing guard outside. However you decide to head there, please be careful. Cinia says, I'm not sure what else the tappers might need besides provisions, though I dare say that capable fighters like yourself can offer them other forms of compensation, culling dangerous beasts, that sort of thing. The twins have anything else? Well, let's see what... that was actually a conversation. There's something that can be said for Lord Amanline. He's not one to leave others at the mercy of the cold. Of course, being a man of Kurthus, I'm sure he is more aware than most of its dangers, but I sense that is not the only reason. Ever since the warm welcome we received at Camp Dragonhead, the hospitality he and his brothers have afforded us have been nothing short of exemplary. Perhaps they aspire to live up to the example set by Lord Edmont. Okay. Let's see where we gotta go. Nope, you can't jump off there. Well, we can go down that way. Let's zip on over there. It is fairly easy to go around the edges here to Evade these enemies if you're not high level enough. So we don't have to worry about that right now. Early Tapper. Who goes there? How'd you find us? What do you mean to stand out like a sore thumb? If the purebloods over at Victor's Spoils hadn't given away our location, you'd never have found us. Oh, stuck-up arseholes. Thought they could come waltzing in here and demanding ceruleum with nothing to offer in return. Looks like the boot's on the other foot now the capital's gone to shite. So they've resorted to sending you to negotiate? I know your game, Sellsword. If they think we'll give in to intimidation, they've got another think coming. Okay. Am I dead yet? Please stop. Consider me intimidated. There you are. Just after you left, Licinia asked me to go and catch up to you in case you needed a hand. Someone must have let slip that I've a little experience in transporting barrels of ceruleum. So this is Tapper's Den. Well then, after you. Where are you? What happened to the guards? I kind of took them out. Eorzean and rebels here to save the people of Garlemald? Doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why in the hells would you pass up this chance to put those Imperial bastards to the sword? Let me guess. None of you are Garlean? You were brought here from other lands? Kiribania, Yangsha, Bozia, Dalmasca, to name but a few. Some dragged here against our will, others fed bollocks about a better life, all put to work extracting ceruleum. All given the esteemed title of An, placing us firmly on the bottom rung of the ladder. But the old hierarchy means nothing in the new Garlemald, says we. About the only thing that's escaped more or less unscathed is Cerulia Ingens, still sustaining us even with our paymasters out of the picture. We hear you're experts in drawing up ceruleum from the bottom of the lake, but how can you do that if it's frozen over? Wouldn't you like to know? Trade secrets, I'm afraid. At any rate, it's not as if ceruleum is used for much these days, what with the city in ruins. We take enough... Excuse me. We take enough to power our heaters and save the surplus for later. And though it helps stave off the cold, it does sod all about our hunger unless we can trade it away. Speaking of which, be sure to tell your contingent we've got ceruleum by the barrelful if they're interested. We'll exchange it for whatever provisions they're willing to spare. Elise says, we can certainly ask, but if you're all free to go now, why carry on living here? Free to go? Go where? Even if we managed to get back to our homelands, there'd be nothing left for us, thanks to the Empire, and the knowledge and skills we acquired working here would be practically useless outside of Garlemald. So we're staying for the time being. Long as there's a need for ceruleum, we'll find a way to get by, even if Garlemald, as we knew it, is gone for good. Gone for good. If you're wondering why we'd post guards outside, it's because we've had trouble with other refugees, and I don't mean the ones at Victor's Spoils. Some of them come bearing weapons and won't take no for an answer. As for the 2 guards you met on the way, I'll tell them what we've discussed. Once they've recovered from the beating you gave them, come to think of it, maybe we should ask your contingent to send some bandages and healing balm. Aliva, how the bloody hells did you find us here, and who are you? Allart, come here and from across the ice field, did you? Then we'd better hope you weren't followed by any of them crazed soldiers or were done for. Elise says, regardless of what the Ilsabard contingent does for the people of Garlemald, the Empire itself is already a thing of the past. For many, that would be a cause for celebration, while for others, their whole way of life will have been turned upside down. For all the atrocities committed in the Empire's name, perhaps it is for the best that it is consigned to history. But what of the ordinary people, their lives, their stories? Should they be forgotten too? I suppose there will be plenty of time to ponder that later. For now, let's see about getting some ceruleum. Do you have anything else? The fire we built at Victor's Spoils won't last forever, and it's too dangerous for Licinia and the others to search for more kindling. If we can get them some ceruleum, that'll be one less thing for them to worry about. For a time, at least. Jarek is amenable to making a deal. So, you come seeking ceruleum, have you? What? Those purebloods up at Victor's Spoils sent you? They turned to their enemies for help. They must be more desperate than I'd thought. Then again, Licinia's got her little sister to think about. Haha, now we know who that is. A sister, but we only saw Licinia and 3 men. Jarek says, it's possible she died from whatever was ailing her. If she needed treatment, I doubt there's any way to get it around here. I may have refused Licinia at first, thinking she'd come back with something to exchange, but I can spare them a bottle's worth of ceruleum. Considering it a reward for introducing me to the rest of your contingent, be sure to send them our way, you hear? I can't for the life of me think why Licinia would keep her sister a secret from us, but we can ask about that when we've delivered the ceruleum. Come on, let's hurry back. Have anything else? I don't know the details, but she mentioned a sister 3 years her junior who's in poor health. That being the case, thought her people would be willing to cough up some supplies in exchange for ceruleum, but maybe they didn't have anything after all. Nope. I'll head back on up there. We can't go back up the way we jumped down, so we have to go up the stairs here and go around. Oh, everybody's gone. This isn't right. It's too quiet. Too quiet. I would have thought Elfino would still be treating them by the fire, but they're nowhere to be seen. I'll look inside the house, and while you search outside, they can't have gone far. Oh. Damn it all. They asked me to carry supplies, but when I followed them back here, they attacked me, caught me off guard, forced me to defend myself. I fear they fared rather worse than me. Sickly refugee says, you can't fool us. We know what you're about. Vultures, that way you are. Waiting in the wings for us to show weakness, then in you swoop. Here to help? What rot. All a ploy to make us lower our guard. Let you in, put ourselves at your mercy. Put us in chains, steal our lands, get your revenge. You're wrong. That's not what any of us want. Save the arguments for later. We've got bigger problems. I found empty medicine bottles in a bed that was still warm. It's true. Licinia was hiding her sick sister inside the house. Oh. But now there's no sign of either of them. Where are they? Where did they go? Away from you and yours, and if you think I'll tell you, you're a fool. I'd never give up my people. We're trying to help them, you idiot. I love Alice. Her sister's ill. The empty bottles prove it, so the medicine ran out, or she put it in her pockets to make it easier to carry. Or to avoid the sound of clinking glass. There are beasts everywhere. How could you let them go alone? To protect them from you. You invade our homeland, taint it with the same sorcery used to slay our countrymen. A Garlean would sooner die than suffer the insult. Better for them to flee, keep their purity intact, than be corrupted by your vile magics. We were waiting for a chance to free them since the moment you arrived. It's just like, I don't know what to say there. This is getting us nowhere. I cannot say how Licinia and her sister will react when we find them, but find them we must. Go on without me, both of you. I first need to tend to my injuries and theirs. I'll join you in the search after. Elise says, all right. Be careful. We'll do our best to find them quickly. There's only one path out of here, so that's where we'll start. Alfino and everything else. I'll follow as soon as I can. After I've given them some basic treatment, I'll take the men inside the house and use a light sleeping enchantment to help them rest and ensure that they don't cause any more trouble. I'm sorry, but this is something I must do. Rob us of our land, rob us of our pride. No, I'll not allow it. Better to die free than live in servitude and shame. The girls would say the same. Okay. Two sets of fresh footprints, young women judging by the size. This is definitely them. Come on. There's Alize. The trail stops at the frozen lake. Perhaps they chose this route so as not to leave footprints. I can't think of any other reason. Look at this place. It's crawling with beasts. And I can only imagine how hard it must be for her ailing sister to cross the ice. We could really do with Alfino's help, but we cannot afford to wait for him. Let's split up and look for clues. Alright, I forgot where we gotta look for clues around here. I want to say there was some under the piping here. Oh, there, yeah. There it is. Half-buried piece of paper. What paper half buried in the snow appears to be a flyer of a theater group, although the run of shows advertised has long since ended. Oh, there's another clue over there. Uh-oh, fresh blood. That's ominous. Blood staining the snow appears to be fresh, judging by the amount. The victims may have been severely wounded. Trail of blood leads southeastward. Hi, Jakey. Jakey's like trying to get my attention. Uh-oh. This is bad. Very bad. The two bodies are already cold.
Blood trail. We found one. They were attacked.
Nope, already gone.
Why wouldn't they?
Safer to brave the wilds than trust in our magic.
Alfino's not happy about that.
We should have... I should have...
Sometimes people make their own decisions, Alfino.
We can't leave them like this. We have to take them home.
What if we're only making it worse?
Maybe we don't belong here, but neither do they. Not out here in the wind and the cold. I heard the story about Varus's voice from beyond the grave. Of course, I didn't believe it, but Licinia and her sister did. Perhaps there is something to the tale after all. I want to understand. So I'm going to borrow this for a while, if that's all right. You had every reason not to trust us. We came as trespassers, invaders.
Oh,
but I pray that in time, we will be more than that to you. That we will find a way to help your loved ones. And see that no more children are left to freeze alone in the snow.
Ah, congrats, Shelly, on getting past the job quest. Good job. I know, Alfie. Sometimes you can do everything right, and it just doesn't work, or it's just not enough. And it's no fault of your own. It's just sometimes things work out differently. There must have been something we could have done. But what? Should we have never come here? Would they still be alive if we hadn't? Probably not. No, they were about to die. If only we'd had a chance to talk things over. But it's too late now. Too late by far. Elfino's resolve may be shaken, but he has not forgotten his duty. We've already caused enough harm here. Let us return to the camp before we cause any more. As for those inside the house, we should send someone to take care of them. Someone who isn't us. All we can do for now is to make our report to Lucia and do everything in our power to prevent further tragedy. So let us linger here no more. Come. Probably the only one who would be able to talk to him at this point would be Maximus, because, you know, he's Garlean. He has the third eye, so, you know, they would trust him. They probably know of the Popularis. Alright, speak with Lucia. I wonder if the other boys are still behind there or not. Nope. See if I got any ether things. 660 elms to the southwest. We're probably going to go back that direction, so. Let's go back to Camp Broken Class. $623 elms to the east. Alright, let's report in to Lucia. Yeah, Alice. We mustn't forget to send some of our allies to Tapper's Den. We still owe them for a bottle of cerulean. Would you mind giving Lucia a full report? Okay, Stola says, treatment of the tempered is proceeding as well as can be expected. If there is anything to report, you'll be sure to know, though I gather you have a report of your own to deliver. Arun says, is something the matter? The twins look out of sorts, and you too seem a bit off. Maximus says, forgive me for saying, but the three of you appear rather drained since your return. Is there aught I might do to be of assistance? Lucia says, Alice and Elfino tell me that they have finished their preliminary search for survivors, but refrains from saying much more than that. Clearly they are reluctant to provide details. Might I ask for your account?
Thank you for your report. We shall inform the troops of these developments and instruct them to proceed with the utmost caution should they encounter any survivors.
Allow me to go and speak with the ones at the victor's spoils. They may be more willing to listen to a fellow Garlean and accept our offer of assistance.
I pray you are right. And though I am loath to burden you any further, should there be an appropriate occasion to speak of Licinia and her sister, please do so.
I am sorry to have put you through this.
My distress is nothing compared to their suffering. So tell me, what else have we learned?
As you may have already heard, we have succeeded in curing the members of the Populares, Maxima identified. They have provided us with some intriguing insights into the current state of Garlemald. The assassination of Emperor Varus was the catalyst for the civil war. Nerva declared his claim to the throne, and his opponents refused to recognize it. Fighting broke out in the capital, where Nerva's Third Legion clashed with the First, who remained loyal to Varus even after his death.
Of course, even Imperial warmongers would balk at the idea of turning their shining city into a battleground. Like burning down the wood to spite the wasps. Neither side would be so mad. Unless something or someone inflamed their animosity to such an extent that they could not help but act against their better judgment.
It brings to mind events at the Gimlet Dark, does it not? The Emperor's sudden withdrawal from the front lines, specifically. Nerva and his father, Titus, Varus's then political rival, took advantage of rumors that Crown Prince Xenos had been possessed by a demon.
Elidibus, what better way to disparage your enemies than with the truth, or a close enough approximation?
Indeed. But before their accusations could be substantiated, many of Titus's followers were silenced. While some were merely stripped of their status, others died under curious circumstances. One after another, suddenly and suspiciously.
Again, Elidibus. Like as not, he had a hand in it. No evidence was found to implicate Varus, certainly. Nevertheless, Titus, Nerva, and the Third Legion would have judged it a brazen attempt by the Emperor to rid himself of his political enemies. And then, in the midst of this growing turmoil, Varus Sosgalvis is murdered.
Why not stir up all the, craziness? I wouldn't be surprised if Fandaniel had something to do with it, too.
And Garlemald's own prodigal son, Gaius van Belsar, is named the murderer. Shortly thereafter, Nerva claims the right of succession, and in response, the First Legion claims the assassination was part of a coup d'etat orchestrated by Titus and Nerva.
So no one is at fault, and everyone else is to blame.
I should add that both parties received substantial financial backing, presumably to provide them with the means and encouragement to pursue a swift victory, and that these contributions came from the self-same benefactor.
I'd heard House Brutus had been filling the Third Legion's coffers, but the First as well.
It would seem so. Though the Populares determined that the First Legion received funds from a variety of organizations, all had connections to House Brutus.
That's a nasty bit of political machination right there. Fund these two legions against each other, right? And then you can come in, once they've destroyed each other, you come in and save the day, right? That's brutal.
So Fandaniel, in the guise of Asahi, was playing both sides against each other the entire time.
The information we gained from my friends does not end there. One night, shortly after fighting broke out, the capital was shaken by an immense tremor. From that point onward, they have no memories, no recollection of any events, including our clash on the Magna Glaciers. But when asked about the Imperial Palace and its bizarre transformation, they somehow recall Emperor Varus giving them orders in their dreams. May the Tower of Babel stand as testament to the glory of Garlemald.
This sounds awfully familiar.
We have something to show you all.
They're worshipping Varus, and he's the primal.
Varys spoke to them through this radio. Perhaps it was a recording, but if not, that would be inexplicable.
We are of one mind, then.
The ether that permeates the ore used in this device is almost identical to that of the talismans.
I see it. While it is likely more by coincidence than design, these devices might also ward against a primal's influence. A picture is beginning to form. If the tremor felt throughout Garlemald was a wave of ether emitted by a primal, then while those within range would have been tempered, those huddled around a radio desperate for news concerning the Civil War would have been spared.
No wonder Licinia kept it close.
My friends, I must speak with you. A young man was caught trying to steal our supplies. He is a soldier of the Iron Men, we think, but one who has not been made thrall. Thankfully, Magni restrained him before blood was spilled. The stranger is outside, if you wish to ask him questions.
I think we do.
Who do we have here?
Garleans? Traitors to your homeland! Have you no shame?
I am Lucia Junius, a Temple Knight of Ishgard. And you are?
Iulus Pier Norbanus. And that's all you invaders will get from me.
We are not here to invade Garlemald. Far from it. Like you, our allies in Eorzea and the Far East fight in defense of their lives and their loved ones even as we speak. But it is the people of Garlemald who have suffered most. This we know. And that is why we have come to offer you our aid, that we may unite against our common foe. Whether you believe me or not, those are the facts. Now, answer me this. Why would a proud soldier of the Empire be reduced to stealing? The situation must be dire indeed for you to go to such lengths. If it is supplies you seek, we would gladly share ours, or turn a blind eye while you leave with your spoils.
I will not negotiate. My commander will determine how to deal with you and yours. If you wish to treat with him, I will take you, but no more than 3.
I don't much like the sound of that. But if we do accept his proposal, I suggest the 2 of us and...
Please allow me and Alize to act as envoys.
May I ask why?
We have seen with our own eyes the hardships the Garleans face. How their futures and lives hang in the balance.
It's not the warmest invitation, but it's an opportunity to prove our intentions true. Maybe not a chance to make things right, but a chance to make them better.
You say, I'm going with you, and what would your mother say if I let you 2 go by yourselves? You gotta go with the second one. And look on Alize's face.
I can see that persuading you otherwise is a lost cause, but you will proceed with the utmost care.
Couple of children and what? A sellsword? Is this an insult?
Not in the least. You will find that they are more than qualified to speak on our behalf.
There are many dangers on the road ahead. I will need that back.
Let's talk to our troop here. Stola says, I worry they are not in the best state of mind to volunteer for this undertaking, but what's done is done. I know you'll take good care of them, and yourself as well, I trust. Arun says, they are resilient in the face of hardship. You as well. But good intentions and stubborn determination alone will not be enough to bring our mission to a successful conclusion. Be on your guard. Maxima says, Eulis Pier Norbanus. It is unusual for one so young to achieve such a high rank. Very unusual. I'll have to check into that and see how high of a rank Pier is. His uniform identifies him as a member of the First Legion, which has a particularly fierce reputation. Whoever his superior may be, I advise you to approach them with caution. Cyrena says, we captured the boy as he was about to make off with our food. He must be very hungry to take such risks. Maybe we should give him something to eat, reward him for his boldness. That's a very step kind of way of thinking, isn't it? Yula says, said your farewells, have you? Magni says, I was wondering what that noise was. It's a kitten climbing up on the top of my husband's chair. Well, hi. Who in there? The lowly task of keeping watch over provisions would not normally befit the sun, but these being unusual circumstances, I will let no man take that which is not by rights theirs. Alfina says, perhaps it is unwise to volunteer for a mission so soon after the previous disaster. Nevertheless, I shall not squander this opportunity. Alisaie says, I know, this won't bring back Licinia or her sister. Taking the same risks, making the same mistakes, it's possible, but better to try than to give up. Every time. Okay. Speak with Lucia again. You will be received as invited guests, and so I urge you to observe proper social etiquette and conduct yourselves accordingly. Your safe return takes precedence over all else. Remember this. Thancred, in particular, will be worried sick if you're gone too long. May the Fury watch over and keep you. Ah. That's quite a message there. That's intended for our ears only, but she's saying it in front of Eulis, so she has to be careful of how she says things. I would have thought one of the fellow Garleans with the Warrior of Light would have been better. Yeah, I think sending Maximus might have been the better option. There you go. Are you and the children ready? I'll explain the route once we are outside your camp. If anyone attempts to follow us, we will judge it an act of hostility. We will not hesitate to take appropriate measures. Lucia says, I would expect nothing less. You have our full cooperation. Lucia, have anything else for us? As I said before, Thancred can be quite the worrier, but rest assured he only has your best interest at heart. Thancred's going to be sneaking after us. All right, we have to leave it here because it's after 6 o'clock, and I got to get dinner made. We're kind of half hour past our limit. I'd like to kind of keep it around 5:30ish, but story was too good to not continue. So let me get to my cat joke. While I'm looking for that, I got part 3 of the Limbs of Laminza guide done and posted, and I'm working on part 2 of the Gridanian track through A Realm Reborn to get you started in the game. So if you know anybody who's going through Gridania starting chain, or you know somebody who wants to start the game and they're kind of, they're a little overwhelmed, I walk everybody through everything, give people helpful tips, kind of show them where to go so they don't get lost. Tell people what's important, what they can ignore for the time being, that sort of thing. So check it out. I put it in its own separate playlist, so it should be easier to find. I think what did I title it? Let's see. Thought my kitty was about ready to jump in on the desk again. It's called Final Fantasy XIV Beginner Guides, Limbs of Laminza, Gridania, and Ul'dah. So I'm working on part 2 of Gridania and part 3. And then I'll go and finish Ul'dah part 2 and 3, but I've got parts 1 for all 3 cities done. Those are posted. Limbs of Laminza chain is completely done. I got part 2 and 3 up. Alright. And as always, if you need help with solo duties, check out the Secrets to Solo Duty Success playlist. I'm going to be, once I get the starter guides done, I'm going to go back to working on the solo duty guides to keep moving forward with those. And we'll go from there, because some of those solo duties, man, they're rough. All right, here's our cat joke for today, because we always have to end on a cat joke. So why was the cat so small? Because it only ate condensed milk. That one's bad. Well, hi, Miriel. You see my little kitten. There you go. Came back up on the kitten cam. All right, yeah, why are cats good? Why was the cat so small? Because it only ate condensed milk. That one's really bad. That's really, really bad. Right. On that note, cats and kittens, I will see you Saturday for the high-end content, whatever that might be. Hopefully we'll be taking on NUO again. We're making progress. We're getting a lot farther into it. We have to clean up the post-ad area, and that one's tough. It is hard. But we'll keep pushing at it. We're going to get this clear. I got a good feeling about next week, or this weekend. So enjoy the 4th of July. Independence Day is coming up in 3 days. So I hope you have a great Independence Day. It's a great celebration for us. It's the 250th. I remember the bicentennial. That was a big deal. And so 250th, man, you don't see that kind of milestone very often. All right, cats and kittens. Mama Cat Gamer is signing out. You all have a great one.